Hi there, just read this disclaimer please. Okay, there's one little extra sheet I put in my spreadsheet. Kind of a planning tool really, just kind of a... I don't know whether I might have shown this one where I just kind of run down the portfolio. It's kind of like a projection of running down the portfolio. I might have shown this in a previous video where I just kind of put the starting value of the portfolio. So, I mean, this is what you'd do if you weren't income focused like me in the portfolio. If you just had a global tracker and you were retiring on it, you'd just look at the total value, the total returns each year, and do something like this. But obviously it'll be more volatile. So we've had a bad few days, so we're at 375 grand now on the portfolio. So if we go 375,000, it's going to affect all of my lines. So this is just a simple way of doing it, where it's just the total amount in the portfolio. I input my investment returns there. I put 5.5% each year, and then I put a year zero spend there. This is my current year zero spend. This is my dream of what I might do if I change something in my life. And as you can see, assumptions 1 in the blue is obviously a lot worse. Why wouldn't it be? It's spending a lot more each year. But it still gets me to 45 years from now, if all goes well. You can't rely on it all going well though, can you? And I put in my spending increases by 2% each year, and I've also managed to put in a estimate of my pension and how long it's going to be. So I've estimated that in 29 years time I'll get a state pension, and I got a estimate from HMRC. Is it HMRC that does that? Pensions? I can't remember. But they estimated that my pension today would be 107 if, you know, inflation adjusted. But in today's money it would be 107. But in 29 years time when I get it, we need to adjust it by inflation. So the spreadsheet adds the same spending rises 2% to the amount I'd probably be getting in 29 years time. And it kind of adds it in here. So that's why at that point there it kind of increases higher, and at that point there it doesn't decline quite as... See, if you follow the trajectory of the blue line there, you'd expect it to go about there, wouldn't you? But the state pension has expanded it to 45 odd years. To be honest, I'm not relying on that though. I don't trust it. They could take that away at any moment, couldn't they? Or do something to fiddle with it. So I haven't bothered doing the state pension in this new spreadsheet, which I've done to kind of track things. I've got too much time on my hands, can you tell? And so what I've done here is, I've done it in kind of separate pots. I've done it in, I mean obviously these numbers need changing as well. Pure growth 103,000. So what I've done here is, I've put in my dividend income that I'm getting currently, or projecting to get, 10,383. And I've put in what I hope that my dividend would increase by each year. Obviously, this isn't what I expect next year, possibly not even the year after, because we're, you know, all of the trusts are building back their revenue reserves before they start giving normal time increases. But this is a longer term thing of 6%. The pure growth portion of my portfolio. So here I basically anything with like less than, I think that's the highest yielder that's included in the pure growth part. So anything below 0.62% yield is included in the pure growth part of the portfolio, which I kind of add up here. It's currently 27.44% of the portfolio overall. And I kind of treat them as separate pots. I would only ever take income from the income. I would never sell anything in the income one, because I just take the income from those. I might rebalance, sell one income stock, buy another income one, but I wouldn't sell an income one and buy a growth one, or vice versa. So what we have here is my expected returns on the growth portion of the portfolio. I've put in at 6%. I've put in the year one spend, same as in the last spreadsheet, and I've put my spending rises by Why have I put 2% there and 2.5% there? Let's make it the same. Whoops. And then I've just projected, so basically the income and the spend, the deficit is always sold from the growth portion of the portfolio. So as you can see here, in this dream scenario of spending a lot more money each year, I'd be spending that much, having that much dividend income, so that would mean I would need to sell 7,600 of the growth portfolio. The growth portfolio is growing by 6% now, so that would take me from 103 grand to 101. And as you can see, here's like the projections. In this, you know, it's never going to be a smooth ride like this, but this is what would happen if it was a smooth ride of 6% growth. And as you can see, I've just kind of kept a track of what the pure growth portfolio would look like going through time. As you can see, even though these numbers look nice, see what I've done here is I've just put in the lowest my growth portfolio ever gets to in the projections, 10, 20 and 30 year values of the growth portfolio. And as you can see, the numbers work. It dips down to 97 grand, which is still a lot of money, and then grows back up again. But it's just, I don't think, I've got to take into account the volatility. We could have 5 years of growth doing really badly, and even the dividend increase is not doing well. You never know. So it's not something I would consider near term, but one day, who knows? So that's why I track this kind of different spending amount. Yeah. And this, like I said, this one doesn't have the state pension incorporated at all. So actually these are the most pessimistic numbers. But the state pension doesn't come for so long, it's not worth even considering. I'll be at, what, 40, 50, 60, yeah, 29 years is a long time. It's not worth taking into account, really. So here's some little projections. So you notice here I put in 6% dividend rises in normal times. So here I've just put some little estimates of kind of normal time dividend increases that I might be able to expect. So maybe in 2 years' time these numbers might be realistic. So for each one I've kind of put in what I would hope or possibly expect to get in terms of dividend increases for each of these investments. And I've kind of just done the numbers for the next, 6, 8 years, something like that. And as you can see, the first year, well, the first normal year, so this will probably be in about 3 years' time, I could expect a 5.29%, 26% increase. And obviously, each year that goes by, if I do nothing, that percentage increase goes higher, doesn't it? Because all of these higher ones, all of these higher growth in the dividend trusts, they become a bigger portion, they become a bigger part of the dividend. So next year, when they increase by a bigger amount, it has a bigger effect on the total percentage increase. So it kind of goes from a 5.26% increase up to a 5.84%. So, I mean, I think what I would do is probably just smooth out these numbers so that it doesn't go from a lower number to a higher number so much. I'd probably each year I have to shelter 20 grand in an ISA, don't I? So that's the opportunity to, if I want to make some changes, I could just do some slight rebalancing. For instance, earlier this year, Lowland and Merchants, there was a 1% yield difference between those. I've kind of missed the opportunity now because Merchants has had a comeback. There was a 1% difference, and I was about 4 grand up on Lowland and about 7 grand down on Merchants in the target. Just by doing that alone, I could have rebalanced 4 grand out of Lowland, 4 grand into Merchants, and I think I estimated that would have brought the 5.26% up to 6%. So I can kind of smooth out these, or I can stop it from all being longer term dividend increases. I can bring forward some of the dividend increases just by some small rebalances like that. A few grand out of a higher yielding one into a lower yielding one. But, that's tinkering again, isn't it? I should just let the winners go, shouldn't I? But, as discussed previously. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to tell you about. It's a long video, so who knows, maybe this might even turn into 2 videos, you never know, or 3, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.